Hello, my name is Sandra. I'm going to demonstrate the movement patterns for 5 joints. The first one is the knee flexion. This is in the sagittal plane. Flexion is about 140 degrees and extension 0 degrees. External rotation, kind of hard to do, but you have to hold your knee so you can feel it. You hold the femur still. And external rotation, internal rotation. The next one is the hip. Flexion of the hip is about 130 degrees. You have to flex your knee as well while you're doing it. And extension is about 30 degrees. Frontal plane abduction is 35 degrees out, and in is adduction towards the body and it crosses over the leg. External rotation, the hip goes out, externally rotates and internally rotates. Diagonal abduction is just on a diagonal plane. Diagonal abduction, diagonal adduction. The next joint is the scapulothoracic or the shoulder girdle, and I have to show it from the back. The elevation is like shrugging, and depression is when it goes down. Abduction or protraction is goes away from the spinal column. Abduction and protraction. Upward rotation, inferior angle, upward rotation. The glenoid fossa goes upward and the inferior angle goes up and to the lateral. So that's upward rotation, upward rotation, upward rotation, and downward rotation. The next joint is the glenohumeral or shoulder joint. There are 10 movements for this. Flexion is from the sagittal plane, flexion, and extension. Abduction is the frontal plane, so abduction away from the body. Adduction crosses the trunk towards the body, towards the midline. Internal rotation. Internal rotation, the frontal view is internal rotation, external rotation. Horizontal abduction, horizontal abduction, horizontal adduction. And diagonal abduction is just on a diagonal plane, diagonal abduction, and diagonal adduction. Abduction, palm out, facing anterior, and adduction towards the midline and across the midline. And the last joint is a lumbar joint. Flexion is 45 degrees, and that's in the sagittal plane. Just bend forward, and extension is, or hyperextension, you just bend backward. And the lateral flexion is just to the side, about 45 degrees. And the unilateral rotation, lumbar rotation, unilateral, is just twisting movement. And you move this way, or you can move this way, keeping your upper body straight and not moving your pelvis. And that's the five joints and their movement patterns. Thank you.